Hi, Jurgen, how are you?
Hi, very good. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. Well, look, you go into the second leg having prevented them getting a single shot on target in the first leg. You've got a 2-0 lead. How do you approach it? Is the job done?
Wow. When I was younger, I would have been really angry now, only because of the question. So no, of course not. We know that it's half time. In the best possible way, you ignore the result from the first game. If that would be a cup game with only one game, and it would be decided, and we have to go to Villarreal, we would try to win there. That's what we want to try there, knowing that. There we go with all they have. That's absolutely clear. It was clear after the game directly with all the things Unai said after the game, the way they set up for the game in La Liga. 8 players, I think, they changed in the beginning, and the 2 who started again went off after 45. So it'd be a tough one, but it's fine, really completely fine, because it's Champions League semi-final should be tough, and that's absolutely okay. We never expected it to be easy. This will not be easy, but we played a good game at home, and we will better play a good game there as well.
In the context of your season, just how important is this game? Not only, of course, to make the final, but it's keeping that momentum going with so much still to play for.
Whatever would be around, good or bad, Champions League semi-final is the most important game you can play. Let me say the second most important game you can play. Maybe the final is more important, but for this moment it's the most important game you can play, and that's why. Whatever would have happened in the last few weeks, in the next few weeks, that's not important. It's for this moment it's clear. You never know if you will reach a semi-final again, if you ever have a chance again to go to the final. You never know. We have an exceptional team here, and nothing is for granted. You need luck in moments, all these kind of things. So you better treat it carefully and be ready. But we will be ready. We really wanted to be where we are, and we want to go to the final. But if Villarreal is better than us and beats us with a result which qualifies them for the final, then congratulations, and that's it. But between now and then are 95 or whoever knows how many minutes to play, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. We'll go to the Zoom. We'll go to Juliet Farrington from the BBC, then to BBC Merseyside. Juliet, hands in the room before we go back to the Zoom.
Thank you.
Hi.
You've won every away game in the Champions League so far this season. Given some of the opposition that you've up against as well, just how impressed are you with that statistic?
Ask me after the season. In the moment, I don't think about it really. So it's just it probably was needed. Yeah, we were stable in the games, but not because it was away or whatever. It's just we found in each game away, and we have to find in this game away to get the result we need to go through, and that's yeah. It was good. Atletico was outstanding. Porto really good. Inter, I'd say, the games were good, but look, we didn't win the game somehow, and sitting deep and waiting and counter-attacking. I think we tried to play like ourselves always, and that's what we have to try again. We cannot. We will have to suffer, and we have to be ready to suffer, and we will have to sit back in moments, definitely, but not as a general approach. So let's see.
And I just wanted to ask you about Naby Keita as well. At times during his Liverpool career, it's been a little bit stop-start for him with injuries, but he's had a really good run of being available, and his performance has been really good as well. Just how good an option is Naby Keita?
So I mean, that continue, because that's crucial. Eh? That's key to everything. If you have the talent and the skills of Naby Keita and you're not fit, then nobody sees it. That's how it is. If you then come back and not in the best possible shape, all these kind of things, that's normal physically. So if the player was never in doubt, not for a second, because it's outstanding. But no, it's good that he is now available. Yes, it's a good option, a very good option to have, and played the weekend, obviously a really good game. So we'll see how long we will use him tomorrow, but no, very good option.
Okay.
How much is the experience of 2019 helping you at this moment? Because it's where you were chasing down Manchester City in the league and also going for glory in Europe. being through that, was that helping anyway?
Yeah. In general, it's not the only year. Okay, with going to the Champions League final. Yeah, and winning it. So, but in general, our last period of the season is most of the time pretty intense because it's the Premier League is too difficult to have a clear lead or whatever to qualify for the Champions League. That this happened this year already is a really big achievement. To be honest, that it happened that early with all the competitors out there. It helps that we know that we are for us historically. Physically in the best possible shape. If we don't have to push the boys through this, what we had to do as well at 2018, we arrived in the final on pretty much 3 wheels. So because I think players came back from injury and stuff like this late before the final, and these kind of things was really tricky. So that's different. We have to make sure that we can make changes here and there. And keep them all in rhythm and fit, and then obviously win the football games, because that's all about. And what we learned in that time, you cannot win 10 games. You can win 1 game, and then maybe the next one as well, but only if you are 100% focused for the first one. And that's now the first one for us now of the last whatever number of games is Villarreal.
Emery said after the game, Liverpool they will suffer more, and you used the word suffer as well earlier. I think in 2022 you've been behind for only 69 minutes in games in the whole of 2022. So while there is, so for example, say at Man City in the first half you did suffer, but you found a way of coming back and getting a result in that. So even though there'll be difficult moments tomorrow, you must have a great sense that this team can come through what's asked of them, the challenges that they'll face.
I do, but the thing with all these things during the season, obviously in the situation we are, it's clear we must have done something right in the last few weeks and months. That's clear. But the problem in our job is everything perfect until this moment. I'm sitting here, and the next game we start on the wrong foot or whatever, and all of a sudden the game gets a difficult or a different dynamic and all these kind of things. And now, so it's good to know, and it gives more a feeling inside. It's not that we are flying constantly and high five here and there, but we know we are in a good moment. That's true. But if you now go the other way around, what would you do if you lost the game 2-0 away, maybe not happy with your performance, knowing you can do better with your own crowd in the back? Why should I think about what we did in the past? My only concern is what we do tomorrow night. So, and we have to be ready to suffer. It's not being go down or whatever. That can happen in all football games. I'm not thinking about that. Giving the game the right direction. So let's think they have the first shot on target or whatever, and these kind of things. Crowd goes up, each challenge, crowd is there. That's how it is. So that's how it is. But actually, a good example was Newcastle now, because the crowd was obviously very passionate as well. But we didn't let it happen, which was the biggest quality of this game. It was now not a show of football brilliance or whatever. We had our moments. We of course could have scored more goals. But how clear cut we just the performance was, that was incredible, and that's what we have to be. Yes, emotional. Yes, being there, really ready to play the best game ever. But knowing it will not just happen in all moments. We want to press here and there, but the outplayers still can happen. So then suffering doesn't mean you suffer for long. It means you suffer and react, and that's what we have to do.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. As I say, if you stay in the room, Trent's in next. We've got Juliet back on the panel to ask Trent questions. Hands up in the attendees, please, if you'd like to ask questions to the player, and it'll be in very soon. Thank you.
Questions for Unai Emery now. Has the confidence in the dressing room changed at all after the defeat last week and after the defeat this weekend as well? In the post-game interviews, I could see that maybe the players were looking, keeping our heads down a little bit. What do you think? Well, there is high hopes. We're really excited. We're playing a Champions League semi-finals. So, the 90 minutes we played in our stadium against the favourites in front of their fans, where they feel really strong. They were better. Nothing to object there. But we managed to defend well. There, we had our, a couple of chances at certain moments where we could have gotten a bit more credit. But of course, they are favourites, but we're playing at home. But we are excited. We want to play our game and look for our chances to try and face their one-on-one, say those duels, and try and win those one-on-one duels, and trying to find a good performance in front of the best team in the world, a really solid, confident team. They play with a feeling of superiority and confidence and feeling better than their rivals in many games. They've only lost very few games. Knowing that we are in the semi-finals, we want to live this moment with our fans, with our families, with our friends, and against a great rival like Liverpool. Well, of course, the team has made a huge effort in order to bring us here. So going through to the next stage will be absolute excellency, excellence. So being better, trying to get to the final, I don't know, we'll be able to do that. After Anfield, you said that we needed to change something for the second leg. No. What does that change mean? Do you mean playing with more offensive players? What do you need to do in order to turn this game around? Well, we play in front of our fans, for starters. Second, we need to win tomorrow. Third, we need to defend, but there are many ways to defend. We need to play a tremendous defensive game, a fantastic defensive game, different to what we did at Liverpool. And from then onwards, we try to find something that we couldn't find over there, which is to find our football, to try and find our game. You lived a huge historical comeback in the Champions League, but as a victim, Barca against PSG. I don't know if that experience could somehow help you ahead of the game tomorrow, in order to help Villarreal achieve something historical for the club. Well, there are many different circumstances that are different from that game, something that is not in our hands. So we are playing good games at home. We are finding good referees, and we are finding a good rapport with our fans in order to give the best version of ourselves. And we know that coming back from a 2-0 is very complicated. In this case, it's beneficial for us that that away goal difference thing has been cancelled. So it's, that is slightly more normal, if you like, because we need to win the game, and with a 2-goal difference or more. But we are not looking really for any external references. We are looking for our own thing. How can we respond to that? So in order to create situations in the game that make us get us closer to the score, to them in the scoreboard, the stadium factor was very important for Liverpool, I think, and I would like to think that is going to make a difference tonight. I wanted to ask you about a tie that you played with Arsenal against Rennes, where you lost 3-1 in France, but you came back at the Emirates with a 3-0. Could this somehow be some sort of, could use this as a reference? Of course, there's no away goal difference, but do you remember in that game, how did you morally prepare your players in order to achieve a comeback? Could you transfer that to the game tomorrow? Obviously, bearing in mind that Liverpool is an entirely different team. Well, you made me remember that tie. I haven't used it, to be honest, for this tie against Liverpool, because of what Liverpool means right now is a Champions League semi-final, etc. But I remember that tie, and we had to play with a lot of respect, and we had to play a game at home where we defended really well, and we found our own offensive weapons, and I remember certain individual players that they had, that they could be really decisive. They had knocked Betis out just before that, and we managed to be very concentrated and respecting them highly. So there are certain parallelisms, because we need to defend really well, but we will need to find our own qualities as well. But the difficulty tomorrow against a team like Liverpool is going to be much higher, of course. we saw the good things of Liverpool, say Mane, Salah, etc. In order to achieve a comeback tomorrow, do you think it's key not to leave the midfield play, like players like Fabinho, Thiago Alcantara? Well, they played a tremendous game at Liverpool. Thiago Alcantara was maybe man of the match, player of the match, and Fabinho he's had a fantastic career. Even since he left, he played Real Madrid, Depor, Monaco, and he's been fantastic at Liverpool. There are two players who can also play really good football, but they have the work rate, the intensity, and they were at a world-class level at Liverpool. What we did was being able to defend really well. So so that whenever they won the ball in midfield, we helped each other really well, so that we were able not to concede many chances, not many clear chances. They had a few, but they didn't. We didn't concede that many. We played. They have a lot of chances with, of course, from dead ball, etc. So we did a very recognizable game at a defensive level. We need to do exactly that this time, maybe in a slightly different way, but we need to play our game offensively as well. So if the player of the match is again a Liverpool player, we will be out for sure. But if it's one of ours, we could have our options. We could be there. Dan Tate. Well, we are living through a historical moment for the team. Well, last season we conquered the Europa League, and we have arrived at the Champions League semi-final this season. And Villarreal is really, really proud. The whole village is proud of this project, of this family, Roch family's project. So at Villarreal, like in every big and small city in the world, not everyone likes football, but everyone relates to this Villarreal because they belong. And that's the most important thing, the feeling of belonging to something, knowing that something is yours. Like Pau does, talking about his team, the team of his childhood, of his hometown. This is the most beautiful thing of it all. Tomorrow you'll see some 20-something thousand players, some English fans, some 20-something fans, some English fans as well. But we will be talking about a feeling of belonging. And being here, we know that we want to play the final. We are playing against a team that were better in the first leg. They have a considerable advantage, but we're not here to play just one more game. No, we are going to be here to try and play a good game and to try and make the fans proud. This season, Liverpool has played 56 games and has lost 3. There is no game where they lost with a difference that is more than a 2-goal difference. What can you do in order to do something that no one has achieved this season? We need to play a perfect game. We need to find our excellence in certain things, or being as close to that as possible, and maybe achieve something that nobody has achieved, which is this kind of comeback. Some of them will be the same players, but some of them maybe they won't, and we'll try and find some weak spots, something that no one has done in this season. That's a good job you did in order to that you found those details. I didn't want to say those, but you did. That proves that it's a difficult task, but it also proves that we are working on the game at hand, and we'll try to prove that we are capable of winning. I wanted to ask you the same question that I asked Pau about what Jason Cundy said after the first leg. Well, I haven't read anything. I haven't heard anything. We were really focused in our internal work. We talk among us what we felt during the match, what things didn't come out as the way we wanted, but I haven't heard anything. Thank you all so very much. Speak to you next time. Thank you so much.